Oh, this is Dr. Jay An. I'm an economist. I have PhD in economics, and I taught economics in colleges, and I managed many IT organizations as a chief technology architect and a chief information officer. And I conducted many government policy researches. And most importantly, I am the CEO of the huge enterprise with 70 billion staff. 70 billion staff. I mean, you are the also CEO of the huge company with the 70 billion staff. What I mean is human cells. There are 70 billion human cells. They are independent life with its own unique identities. So, and they also, there's a lot of managers in that organization, like a heart and the lung and the stomach, your brain. They are managers who manage human cells for you. So they are working hard. And then also the board of directors, they are spirits and conscious mind and subconscious mind. They are board of directors. So you have this huge enterprise you're managing as a CEO. If you didn't know you were CEO, then you were neglecting most important job in your life, because it's managing your life is the most important job. And so this quantum economics is a scientific tool that's optimized for managing your life. So in one sentence, quantum economics is a study on how to live an optimal life. So that's good summary of quantum economics. But I will talk about the 10,000 feet high level background of quantum economics. So you have some idea of what the quantum economics is, how you can benefit it. So with that, let's go to the slide. Thank you. It's about myself, but I already talked about it, so I didn't want to spend too much time, but just want to briefly mention that I was born in the middle of mountain around 70 years ago. That was a long time ago. At that time, I was in one of the poorest countries in the world, but I didn't have any electricity or civilization where I lived. I was running around without clothes on until my teenage years, but somehow I guess my curiosity drive me out of that place, and then I didn't have money, but somehow I managed to get on board in the airplane to the United States for studies. So that's where I am. But I didn't have any money, and I wasn't familiar with any culture in the U.S. And so I made so many mistakes, and then stumbled on so many failures, and then but I never gave up. So that's kept me going. And then nowadays I think I was really lucky, and I'm really grateful for those adversities I went through, because they made me a better person. And so those adversities are, challenging, but they are blessing in disguise. So if you have any challenge and adversities you are experiencing now, be glad, because that's a blessing in disguise for you. You will be much better person when you get through those challenges or adversities in the end. Anyway, so that's my brief intro. Guidance. If you have any challenges, I think compared to mine, it's probably okay. So let's move on to next slide. So this video is about the quantum economics. I just say the beginning, because it's only the beginning of the quantum economics. I will just talk about some skeleton of quantum economics. So I wouldn't talk about a lot of details, but still give you a pretty good idea what this quantum economics is about, and then how you get benefit from it. I'm happy and healthy, enjoying every moment of my life now, leveraging quantum economics. I have everything I need. What can I ask for more? I'm just enjoying my life. I mean, I'm really blessed. This is the video of quantum economics, the beginning. So let's continue to next slide. Since this is quantum economics, I just want to briefly talk about origin of economics. And economics started with one question on how one should live life, and then they were looking at achieving happy life, you know, ethical perspective. Those Greek philosophers who studied economics, that's just the original, I guess, concept of economics. It means just oiko means household, and economics means management. So it started with the household economics. That's origin of economics, and then Socrates and Plato and then Aristotle all was talking about this daemon, and then eudaimonia. Eudaimonia is basically living happy or living well. And then Adam Smith picked up this ethical perspective and wrote the theory of moral sentiment. He talked about the sympathy and then desire for social approval was the guiding humans to live in harmony. And then later he wrote a book about the wealth of nation. He was talking about the invisible hand, basically a price in a market, determined in a market. You probably heard of demand and supply, and when they meet, that's where price is set. And then this price is the invisible hand distributing resources optimally. And then he also talked about the selfishness, pursuing self-interest. Actually, that's a good thing, and because everyone is maximizing their own happiness, people made up of all the maximum interest will have the greatest social or community maximum happiness or efficiency. So also he was talking about laissez-faire, basically live alone or hands up, a kind of market belief, market efficiency. So if leave a free market alone, market itself will move toward achieving the most efficient economy. So that becomes the foundation of many minimum government policy. Basically, government just do defense and foreign policies, but hands up on economic policies, leave it to the market system. There was main, I guess, argument of Adam Smith, and that's he's called. A lot of people call him father of economics. And then later, David Ricardo showed how free trade benefit economy too. I think Mr. Trump probably need to read David Ricardo's book. So let's move to the next slide. And there was Alfred Marshall, who completed, I guess, a theoretical framework for microeconomics using marginal utility and the marginal cost concept. And then Keynes, John Maynard Keynes, introduced macroeconomics because of monopolies and then imperfect information in the market. Market may not function as we expected. So there may be barriers to competitions or, achieving maximum efficiency. So he suggested government intervention, like public investment, to create more demand. So if there's more demand, then factories or business will start produce more because there's more people want to buy their products. And so he advocated government intervention first time. So that's the beginning of macroeconomics. But this kind of oversimplification of economic origin. There's a lot more. Of course, it's not fair to say that these are the only origins of economics. That's far from the truth. There's so many great economists, but this is not traditional economic courses, so I wouldn't jump into those. So many economists, but here for my purpose is just pointing out that most economics are focused on market efficiency based on collective and on aggregate quantities. They talk about this interest rate, the price level in the market, financial market or goods and services market, but their focus is mostly quantity and then efficiency. Next slide. The quantum economics fundamentally shifts its paradigm from market efficiency to quality of human life, focusing on happiness. That's the key. Consuming goods and the services are only part of the happiness. So, love and the gratitude are the key foundations of our happiness. They are glues connecting us and amplifying our happiness. So I define quantum economics as a study on how to live an optimal life, to a complete manual for happy life, utilizing fusions of latest scientific discoveries, including quantum physics. Next slide. What's the main premise of quantum economics? The main premise of quantum economics is that everything is changing. According to ancient book of changes, that everything is changing, but there's one thing that doesn't change. What is that? That's the fact that everything is changing. Other than that fact, everything is changing. So, that's just emphasizing that everything is changing. And, sun, if we look at the sun every day, but even sun will disappear around 40 billion years later. And even black holes will evaporate. And, all the galaxies will be disappear and the new galaxies will be created. And all the animals and plants are evolving on an ongoing basis. There's a million, human cells are created and then, dying every other day. So there's a lot of changes in even human body. So there's nothing that's not changing. So everything is changing. That's so what's why we emphasizing everything is changing? Because there's implications. If everything is constantly changing, what does that mean? So let's look at the first the cause of this continuous change. Why things are keep changing? So based on science, since this quantum economics is based on science, according to physics, I guess the most solid science, the main cause of the changes are the asymmetry, basically imperfection, that imbalance between matter and the antimatter that started creating things and then start dynamic changes in everything. Also, even in the recent quantum economics, everything exists only as a possibility at a fundamental level. So all the quantum particles exist in a quantum state, they call it. So we'll look at a little more in the next slide. But my point is that this change is caused by imbalance or imperfection. And then that if everything was perfect, it will be static, and then it will be in balancing equilibrium, so nothing would change. But because of this asymmetry or imbalance or imperfection, it's causing this continuous change. Even if all the evolutions of human life or any other life, plants or animals, are continuously evolving because they are not perfect. They are perfectly fit for the environment, but still environment is changing. So they have to change. So there's no way anything will be static or fixed or not changing. So this premise of everything is changing is very based on science, and also it makes sense intuitively too. So with that, let's look at the ramification of this premise of the premise that's saying everything is continuously changing. The main implication basically it's everything is keep changing, then everything is uncertain. So this uncertainty is also supported by quantum physics too. Quantum physics say everything exists as a probability. It's uncertain. We never know exact location of electrons, because they could, be existing any place, and it's unknown to us until there's some interactions with the observations. And then with the observations, then it quantum state collapse. We call it wave function collapse. So, if you heard about this superposition. That's what quantum economics is talking about. Everything, multiple possible outcome exists simultaneously, with its own unique probabilities. So, then when we make observations, those one of those possible outcome becomes reality. So we call it wave function collapse. So that's the term that used in physics, but we just probably use like realizing the specific outcome or manifesting an outcome. That's the collapse of quantum opportunities. So opportunities are in a quantum state. That's one of the focus of our quantum economics, and then how we can influence those, you know, wave function collapse for the quantum opportunities. That's some of the aspect of quantum economics we will look at down the road. But here, I just want to focus on ramification that ever since everything is changing, that means everything is uncertain, and that means the things that they didn't realize yet, all the future things are in a quantum state. So that's why when we trying to you know I guess realize a desired outcome in the next moment in the future. So that's why I call it quantum economics, because it's trying to influence the quantum opportunity so that it can be realized in a desired way. So there's many other scientific, I guess, theories and models supporting this uncertainty principles. So if you are interested in, you can look it up. But I just want to mention at the high level that implication of our premise is basically everything is uncertain, and then but this uncertainty has also many interesting implications. So let's look at those five principles derived from this main premise. So what are the five fundamental principles driven from our main premise? I call it R, A, E, O, U principles. These fundamental principles driven by our main premise. First one is accountability. Everything has consequences of change. So, for example, in Bible it says you reap what you sow. In Buddhism, there's karma. And also in science, there's many like yin yang, plus and minus, or matter or anti-matter, and then cause and effect. There's many dualities. So there's basically accountability given cause, and there's effect. So also our life is the same. Your life is a consequence of your cumulative choices. So your life is your accountability. So the actual consequence is contributed by many other collaborating factors, like other people contributed to that outcome or environment. But still, the choice to your choice made triggered that momentum to result in that consequence. So whatever life you have, and it's your accountability. If you have great life, that's great. This accountability is assurance that if you work hard and effectively, then you will get the great consequences you want. So that which is great thing. So this accountability is not a bad thing. So but it's accountability could be a bad thing for bad people who does bad things, killing other people, or violence, or many other cheating others, and those are probably they will have bad accountability that is bad for them. So anyway, so that's the first one, ramification of this main premise. And the second one is evolution, as we saw that this evolution is just since everything is changing, human or animals has to continuously evolve to survive and then reproduce, and then to pursue happiness. For humans, I mean animals, I'm not sure they pursue happiness, but they probably for more survival and the reproduction. But any life, they will pursue survival and reproduction. And in order to do that, they have to evolve. So evolution is also key principles out of the main, premise. And the middle one is imperfection. Imperfection is actually the source of continuous change. If it's everything is perfect, there's no need to change anything because it's already perfect. But the reason it's changing is because it's imperfect, because there's asymmetry or imbalance. So imbalance between matter or antimatter, or imbalance between negative and then positive. If there's equal negative, equal uh, positive, then they are balanced. They wouldn't change. But if there's more negative, then it'll move toward negative. There's more positive, then it'll move toward the positive. That kind of imbalance. So this imperfection is a source of all the changes we experience or we observe. And then next one is opportunity. As I mentioned, this uncertainty give us these opportunities because we these opportunities are typically defined by PEP-K. That means perspective, attention, and beliefs, and knowledge. Those will identify opportunities or set the boundary of opportunity space. So within that opportunity, quantum opportunity space, there's a lot of multiple outcomes that's possible. But it has its own probabilities, but there's a lot of possibilities. So that's presented to us. That means we have a choice to choose. It's not predetermined. And then, that's actually related to uncertainty, the last implication of our premise. Is future of everything is undetermined because unknown. So anything is possible. It's only limited by our own beliefs and our attention, where we focus, and then our perspective, where we look at. We look at from the side, or from all sides, or just one side. Then what you can find can be different. It also, to a degree, depend on the knowledge, the experience you have. You were living in a well, then what you know is the anything around the well, but you have no idea what's outside. So you wouldn't be able to have opportunities that uh, that you can do outside, because you don't even know that outside exists. But that's this IAEOU principles, uh, you know, coming from our main premise. Next. So I like metaphors. Though so far it was kind of dry, so I just wanted to use some metaphor that's more interesting to you. So I mean, I'm not using this metaphor in religious perspective. So, but it's well-known, story. So I just use this Adam and Eve as a metaphor for explaining this imperfection and its implications. So when Eve ate the forbidden fruit, then as a result, all the descendants of Eve and then Adam became imperfect, sort of. Before that, human was perfect, actually. Before Eve ate the forbidden fruits, and then human were perfect. So whatever they do, it was perfect. So there's nothing to contribute, because everything they do, that's already perfect. So it didn't add any value to the already perfect thing. So that means nothing to improve. And then since it's already perfect, no values to create, no fun to get better, because whatever you do doesn't make any difference. So there's no fun and no hope to get better, because it's already perfect. There's no hope for getting better. And then there's no failure because you are perfect. Whatever you do, you don't make mistakes. You don't fail. So There's nothing to learn because you're already perfect. And then not possible to change because if you're trying to change, it's already perfect. There's and then God said it's already predetermined by God. So you have no choice because choice is with God. God chooses perfect thing for you. So for you, you cannot change anything on your own, and you don't have any freedom to choose. As I said, God has chosen for you best thing and perfect thing for you. So there's no point of choosing anything because it's already chosen by best thing is already chosen by God for you. And then so that means no opportunity to realize anything with your free will. And then you know you live forever. Whatever you do, you never die. So but these are actually the implication of being perfect. God made you like that. God created human like perfect. But do you like this one anyway? But thankfully, I mean, the Eve ate the forbidden fruit. So now all her descendants became imperfect. So now they have something to improve. They have value to create because it's imperfect. They can make it better, and they have fun in making it better. So because they do something, or they can say, "Oh, it's improved." They have joy from that, and then they have hope to get better, move toward the perfection. They never reach perfection because now humans are imperfect, but they are getting closer to perfection, and they have hope to getting closer to perfection, and they make mistakes and they fail sometimes, but they get valuable lessons from these mistakes and then failures. So that's kind of humane. That's more meaningful for life. If without any failure or any mistake, there will be no success. That's I guess precious. I mean, there wouldn't be any success without failure. So if it's always a success, that's just a perfect norm. But there's not we don't get excited about success. The reason we get excited about success is because we learn through this failure and the mistakes, and then we achieve something. That's where we get this joy. And then it's possible to change because it's not perfect. You can choose to change, and it's you have freedom of choice to choose because it's imperfect. It's not everything is determined by God or by creator or whoever. So that means you have freedom of choice. That's great. And then there's opportunity to realize whatever you want with your free will. Isn't that great? I mean, now, of course, you don't live forever, but do you really live forever? And then, that could be boring too. Having actually this limit in your lifespan makes life a lot more valuable. And there's beginning and end. You just have to, enjoy and then, get the most out of it while you can. That's actually more meaningful, at least for me, but maybe you're not. But either way, I mean, overall, isn't the imperfection blessing? I mean, looking at this, what the implication of perfection is, and then implication of imperfection is, you realize, oh, actually, imperfection is blessing. Probably God knew that Eve was eating forbidden fruits, but he could have stopped it since he's God. He knows, everyone's mind too. So he probably could have stopped it. He didn't stop it because he wanted to give this blessing to human race. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not sure what you think. But of course, I'm talking about this metaphor. I'm not in a religious perspective. So don't get upset if you are believing in some religions on this story. So I'm just using it as a metaphor to make intuitive explanation of my main premise. So also, I mean, I will, refer to this quantum physics probably fairly often in my discussion because it is the latest, most accurate science that known to human so far. So I just want to briefly mention a few concepts I'll probably use in my discussion of quantum economics. There's a wave function. Wave function is the the describing the quantum state. And then, so when particular possible outcome is realized, then we call it this wave function collapsed. So this is the mechanism, and then it just wave function describe a superposition of all possible outcomes. And the last one is fundamental uncertainty. This quantum physics also emphasize, uncertainty is more than lack of information. Just it's a fundamental, aspect of everything, and so all the reality, we will face is a result of this fundamental uncertainty collapse. So with that, if you are interested in learning more about this quantum physics, I recommend to read books or watch some YouTube videos explaining this. But since these are just to reference that I will use in some of my explanation in quantum economics. So I'm just showing this. So we'll not spend too much time on that. So move to next slide. So main question before actually it's a beginning of quantum economics, since we are focused on the personal happiness of an individual. So we need to know what individual we are. So who am I? In terms of how valuable we humans are. I often use this diamond paradox, because diamond is very expensive, extremely expensive. And why it is expensive? Simply because it's rare. It's hard to find. But how about the human? Everyone is unique. Only unique being in the whole universe. So how precious is that? It's so scarce. The only one in the whole universe. So that means you are incredibly valuable compared to a diamond. I mean, there's no comparison. You are such a precious being. So that's something probably we all have to understand. All humans are like that, so precious, because it's so unique and then scarce, the most scarce being, the only one in the whole universe. So we have to treat everyone as a precious, most precious being, and a lot more precious than diamond, of course. So that's not many people actually have to really understand this value of a human. So I'm just want to emphasize that we humans are the most precious being in the universe. And the second one is the purpose of human, why we are here. I mean, in default, according to Charles Darwin, our main purpose is survival and reproduction. But that's more of, I guess, a survival of our body and I guess mind too. But is that everything? I mean, to me, there's more meaning in life than that. But to experience happiness, or to experience whatever you want to experience in this life, there's so many things in life. So I just says happiness, to experience happiness, but that's on average. But it could be different to depending on individuals. So anyway, but there's a very I guess divine purpose of everyone, and so I hope you find your own purpose. But one caveat is that it's not dictated by anyone. I'm not telling you what's the purpose for your life. Its beauty is that you get to determine what's the purpose of your own life. When you were born, did you know what's the purpose of your life? You were just born baby and didn't have any idea, or even didn't have any reasoning at that time. So how would you know what purpose you have when you're born? But when you start adjusting, adapting to environment, learning from others, and eventually you mature, and then the beauty is it's your choice to determine what kind of life you want to live. So you define your purpose of your life. That's the beauty of it. So if someone asks you the purpose of your life, you say, "Oh, I don't know," and how am I know? Only God knows. Don't say that because God gave you this freedom to choose, and the life itself. God gave you the freedom of choosing your own life too. So it's up to you to choose whatever purpose you like to live. So that's isn't that great? I mean, that's not many people really understand that, but yeah. And then some just people, I mean, blaming some others. Oh, they don't know, their purpose of life as if they know. But that's just saying that oh, it's according to my religion or that religion, and that may be their choice too. I mean, so it's for certain religion and people who believe in certain religion, there maybe the religious purpose may be their purpose, but ultimately, even choosing religion, it's your choice. So I'm just want to emphasize it's your accountability or your choice, freedom of choice to choose your purpose, and then you will be accountable, of course. I mean, that's fair deal. You have complete freedom of choice, but also you have a complete accountability. I mean, that's fair. And then the last one I want to emphasize is not many people know that how capable they are. I mean, they are actually incredibly capable. So if nowadays I study a lot about biology and then this mitochondria and then cell biology and then neurology and then finding these incredible capabilities, I mean, it's just beyond our imagination, and then at least my imagination. And then, a lot of things it's just limited by our belief system. So you just your limit of what you can do is limited by your own beliefs. If you think, nah, I cannot do that, and then maybe your limit. But you think, oh, that's no big deal. I mean, I can do it. I mean, if I keep chipping away and I can get it done, then that's your belief. Then yeah, then you have the capability of getting it done. So again, this power is also your choice, in a sense. So it's you have this incredible power. Nothing is impossible. If you believe nothing is impossible, yeah, nothing is impossible for you. But you believe no, that's joke. Realistically, I cannot do that. Then yeah, that's your limit of your power. That's where you stop. So purpose of your life and then power of your life and then it's your choice. And then but value, how precious you are, no matter what you choose, then what you believe, it's still this value. Yes, you have the most precious being that doesn't change. So that's given to everyone, sort of, because it's just being born as the unique being in the whole universe. It makes you the most valuable being upon your birth, anyway. So that's basically understanding yourself and then knowing who you are. And I just gave you guidance of there's no predetermined definition of you in terms of purpose and then what you can do. You define that, and then you know, set the limit of what you can do. And but either way, you are the most precious being. So that's now I hope that gives you solid foundation of knowing who you are. That's very important foundation for quantum economics too. So let's move to next one. I just want to use another analogy to easy understand. And then I mentioned briefly that you are the CEO of your life because you have this 70 billion staff working hard for you. So this step need amino acids, basically protein, and then energy. Basically, you need to provide this carbohydrates or the glucose and the fat, probably omega-3 fat, not the you know the saturated fat, which is bad for blood circulation and then other you know adult related illness. But anyway, so you have 70 billion steps. If you learn more about the human cells, they are actually amazing organization, that amazing life that has amazing capabilities. There's a lot happening inside that cell, each cell. There's mitochondria, the energy factory. There's 100 to 1,000 mitochondria producing energy and then having communication network inside or inter-cell communications. And even there's, even there's motor proteins, they call it, that carrying this messages or other organelles in the cell. There's cytoskeleton tracks. There's a railroad that these motor cells move around to delivering cargoes. Cargoes are basically messages or chemical or molecular organelles, and then those things. I mean, there's actually this cytoskeleton highway, sort of, and then it's in the microtubules, they call it. So there's amazing infrastructure inside this human cells, and there's 70 billion of them working hard for you. And so that's why you need to understand what your step does, and then be able to support them so they can function well, and then you will have all the benefit from their hard work. And then there are many managers: your brain and your heart, your lung and your stomach, and then they are working hard for you, managing all those 70 billion cells. Then there are also many contractors. I mean, this bacteria that collaborating with your cells. They communicate with brains and stomach, and then they interact with a lot of enzymes human cell produce, and then so you just need to have good understanding of the human cells and these contractors. Also, in the human cells, there's a lot of enzymes, and then each cell, of course, has complete set of human DNA. It's not just the partial DNA. Each cell in the 70 billion human cells has a complete set of human DNA. Do you know that? That's why this one cell start dividing and then eventually made up your whole body. So that's one of the reasons why each cell need to have a complete set of human DNA, not just the partial DNA information. But there's so many things happening in terms of human DNA. There's the ribosome and then lysosome. There's a kind of recycling center that's ribosome, and then protein factory called ribosome. It's just assembling the amino acid according to instructions from the RNA. There's DNA, but there's also RNA that read the DNA, according to directed by this epigenetic informations, and the epigenetic informations are influenced by our environment and our lifestyles. We will all talk about those anyway. So there's incredible operation inside your body, and so human cells and these contractors, and also there's a board of directors. Basically, the conscious mind and subconscious mind. We here in quantum economics, we just call it conscious agent and then subconscious agent. They are working hard for you too. So we'll talk about what their purpose is, what they're trying to do, and then how we can leverage them to create the life you want. So, and also finally there's a spirit. Spirit, it's somewhat. It could be owner of yourself, a true owner of yourself, but there's a lot more, I guess, unknown around the spirit. So I don't want to, jump into that, prematurely. But I just want to mention there's another category called spirit, and then it's like, in analogy to quantum physics, it's like a field that hosting all your, I guess, your multiple selves. But anyway, it's spirit is like a field in quantum economics in analogy. So, but I may, talk about those in the end. But my focus will be more on this conscious agent and subconscious agents, And but in the down the road, if there's more, after more things, discovered, then I may at least start talking about some aspect of spirits, but also how you support your operation of this complex enterprise. That's a big responsibility. So you are the CEO of this huge operation. So if you were not aware of that, you are the CEO of this huge operation, then probably it's good to start learning about that before too late. And because anything, happiness or whatever, even quantum economics, if you cannot sustain your body and then in healthy operational mode, then nothing matters. If your body disappears or are not able to sustain life, then there's no point talking about happiness or quantum economics. So that's why I just mentioned this. You are the CEO analogy here. So let's move on. So as I mentioned, you are who you are. So it's like I am who I am. Same thing. Great news is that you are not predetermined, because it's up to you to determine, what purpose your life will have, and then what kind of things you want to do. That's up to you. It's your choice. So you define it. But inherently, you are the most valuable being in the universe. So those are important. So I just want to emphasize that. And, excuse me. You have you will have sufficient opportunities to define your purpose, and then your whatever you want to do. So because I used the analogy of Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day is just I think the main character keep reliving same day, Groundhog's Day again and again until he get it right. So same way, I mean, if you make mistake, you run into problems and you fail, don't worry, there will be always tomorrow. You can try again. So you will have many opportunities. You have tomorrow, but it's not the same day. It's tomorrow will be new day. So you live every day as your last day in your life, because same day never comes back once it's passed. So it's a precious opportunity. That's the portion that I want to emphasize. It's a sufficient opportunities, but still it's precious. Each opportunity is so precious. It's your last opportunity in your life. But you will get another opportunity tomorrow. But it's kind of a new opportunity or different opportunity. So you don't want to waste too much opportunity on the achieving same thing. So you need to learn quickly, and then make adjustment, and then try again, and then make it as soon as you can. So but there's no pressure if even it fails. Important thing is you never give up. As long as you're not quitting, there's always another opportunity, and then eventually you will be able to make it. Anyway, the outcome is not important. Important thing is you keep trying, and then you enjoy process of keep trying. So every moment you're trying, so you enjoy that effort. You enjoy doing things. At each moment. That's the most important aspect. So adding up those every moment, that's accumulation of those every moment becomes your life anyway. So life is not just one-time outcome. It's just a accumulation of each moment. So it's very important to understand what you have to do is to enjoy every moment. Do your best, but don't be obsessed with any outcome. Don't get disappointed if outcome is not exact to your expectation. That's okay, because you get to try another, and then most important thing is you enjoyed process of producing whatever result you got it. So, your focus should be on the process and not on the outcome. Outcome is, according to quantum physics, it's a lot of times it's random, so it's just chance, sort of chance. So there's not much you can do. Anyway, it's a quantum realm of uncertainty. So don't worry about the one-time outcome. It'll pass anyway, good or bad. So, but you enjoy every moment. That's ongoing process. So that's more important. And then nobody's dictating you to be a certain person. It's you have a freedom, and so you are what you are. And with that, let's move to the next slide. The purpose, I mean, the goal, objective of conscious mind is to maximize happiness. And the objective of subconscious agent is to maximize the survival and the reproduction. And so they are very different, I guess, objective, but they are interdependent too. Without the survival, how can you achieve happiness? Without happiness, how can you survive? So they are kind of interdependent, but yeah, it's we will use this conscious agent and subconscious agents to look at to establishing the quantum economics framework to I guess model optimal human life. And then there's also environments and then information that influence behaviors, and then to a degree the ability of these agents. And then again, I said spirits. I probably spend a minimal amount of time on that spirit, but because it could be spiritual one for religious people, but it could be just a soul or other divine guidance. Some scientists suggest that there are actually scientific evidence for spirit, but it's still not settled. So I don't want to spend too much time on something that's not clearly known. So I'll get into that maybe later, maybe not, depending on how much progress is made in that area of science. And then also I will use another analogy to the quantum physics. So in fundamental particle analogy, spirit is like a field in quantum physics, and then the conscious mind is like electrons. Actually, yeah, and then protons and then neutrons, which is nucleus, are more like subconscious mind. And so I will use this analogy, maybe the other way around. I will have to think about which will make more sense, but I will use this analogy in the following discussions. And then, as I mentioned, this quantum opportunity is one of the core focus of quantum economics. Each opportunity exists in a quantum state. So quantum state is defined by your beliefs, attention, and perspective and knowledge. I call it BAPK, BAPK, and then potential outcome that has the least action requirement, which is the minimum action required to realize or manifest it, will have the highest probability amplitude among all potential outcomes. Action is defined by energy times time or momentum times distance. PCI, persistent, consistent intentional action. I just call PCI action. So when I say PCI action, it means persistent, consistent, intentional action. This PCI action can influence a probability amplitude. So we will use this mechanism to influence what we can realize. And the quantum economics provide the most efficient quantum framework for your agent to leverage. Your agent means your conscious agent and then subconscious agent to leverage the quantum opportunities. So you live happier and healthier, experiencing whatever you want. I'm excited about sharing more details of quantum economics in the following videos. Prerequisite for quantum opportunity is the survival and the reproduction. As I mentioned before, the health is the foundation of self and your existence and reproduction. So quantum economics will spend a lot of discussion on how to live longer and healthier, basically extend your survival. And this is why quantum economics is covering a lot of topics related to health. And if I talk about a lot of health related epigenetics or energy related, cell metabolism, this is why, because health and then the survival and the reproduction is key foundation of your pursuing your happiness. Without your existence, there's no quantum economics, no happiness. So that's the reason. And then quantum economics will explore behaviors of these quantum agents and interactions among the agents, and also interactions with the environments and the information constraint, and the effective pathways to an optimal life by managing optimal choices and actions of your agents and environments. They may involve what and how to choose micro actions, as I mentioned, the PCI actions, lifestyle choices, such as what and how to eat and how to sleep and then how to exercise, what to exercise, how to be aware or mindful, and then what and then how to connect each other to amplify happiness. The by connecting each other, loving each other, and then being grateful for each other, those are glues to connecting each other, and then we can amplify our happiness. And the quantum economics are evolving like everything else. I'm starting with the 10,000 feet high view of the quantum economics now. In the beginning, I call the beginning, this video beginning. The reason is because it's a very high level. It'll take many books and videos to cover all the details of quantum economics. So it'll take some time to cover all the details in quantum economics. But in the meantime, I'm just starting with less technical, more intuitive sessions for the public. If you are interested in technical details, please sign up for my webinar where I can share more technical presentation of my papers. I hope that economists can collaborate and expand on my propositions of quantum economics. I envision, someday quantum economics shall be taught in every school. All people, all students need to learn how to live an optimal life. Living is the, everything on this earth. So what's coming up? I'm planning some web conferences, and then I have opened the YouTube channel already, and where this video is posted. But also we'll have some web conferences, and I will advertise here too. And this YouTube channel Muhud is to start posting my quantum economics videos. So stay tuned for seeing more, videos related to quantum economics. And then, if you're interested in joining the live web conferences, check back, and then I will post some information around how you can join these web conferences. And I'm passionate about helping people live happier and healthier by empowering them with effective and scientific tools for enhancing the quality of their lives. So please spread and share quantum economics with anyone who are interested in learning how to live happier and healthier life. I am looking for students who are interested in learning and spreading my message of quantum economics. Please email me to my contact at the end of my video descriptions if you are interested. Just a side note,